Hello everyone, welcome to this second Bonita 2022 webinar that we organized on the occasion of the upcoming release of Bonita 2021.2 beta, which is released on next Thursday, so it's soon, it's coming. I'm Delphine, I'm Evangelist and Community Manager at Bonita Soft. And today I'm going to deep dive into a new feature, new features, what we call the new Bonita user interfaces. After last week, where we have discussed about project composition that was related to Studio. Today we are going to talk about a runtime with the new Bonita users interfaces. Before we go further into details, I thought it was really useful to step back a bit and to talk about our product strategy and roadmap since 7.11. I guess that the one who attended the previous webinar about project composition already know those slides, but I think it's important for everybody to understand our strategy. So, our product strategy is based on key 4 milestones that are awareness, collaboration, governance, and optimization. And we have 3 pillars coming with that. First of all, our DNA, open source. Then we want to improve our low-code approach and make sure that our platform is cloud ready, even if we want to make sure that people can choose between on-premise or cloud. So here is the product vision in the next 4 years. We are going to improve our platform through 3 axes. The first one is the introduction of project governance in low code. But what is that? We want to make sure that we create a real differentiator between visual programming and coding model to allow a clear governance based on user skills and organizational specificities. So it means in the IT team, for example, you have different kind of profiles, the developer, you can have business analysts and so on. We want to make sure that everyone finds his place. Then the second pillar is to offer a fully web-based process automation platform in order to make sure we have something integrated, extensible, and open source from the creation of your project in the studio until the deployment and the maintenance in production. Why? Because we continue our cloud strategy, but we want to make sure we offer the same technologies between on-premise and in the cloud, which can be a private, public cloud or Bonita cloud. And finally, we are going to optimize and accelerate process automation. Why? Because we want to improve our existing analytical capabilities and support this continuous improvement loop from end to end. And to do that, we need to accelerate process automation, but also to give predictive analytics capabilities. That's something we had started a few years ago and that we are going to put in place in the next versions now. So today we are going to focusing on one of those 3 pillars, which is the fully web-based process automation platform. And to do so, we need consistency. We need to offer something that is running fine for any kind of platform, on-premise or cloud. So what we are going to see today is related to this pillar. So now if we go into a bit more into detail, we have our this month's evolutions between the different components. Last week, we have discussed about project composition, the Maven projects, and the extension manager that were available in 2021.2, but also about the low-code user flow improvements through more automation into the low-code flow, the low-code project flow creation. Then if we talk about UI designer, we want to change the page generation technology from AngularJS to web components, because it was something that was really required by our customers, and because AngularJS is no more supported. So we are going to progressively migrate till web components in our front end, and we want to make sure that it is smooth. Moreover, we are going to as well focus on the low-code and governance approach through a split in UI designer. Customer widgets are going to be outside of the UI designer in the next next releases. Finally, if we talk about runtime, we are going to see today that we create new Bonita user interfaces, replacing our default GWT portal. But also, we support the authentication with OpenID Connect, starting with 2021.2, which means that in Enterprise, not only you can use SSO with OpenID Connect, but also you can create users on the fly using the same authentication manager. And then in the next versions, we are going to support the full Kubernetes deployment orchestration compatibility, which is related to our cloud strategy. Something changed recently as well, and I guess that you already noticed that if you use Bonita. This year, the release was not done, out in December 2020. No, we did it mid or end of June 2021, and that's the reason why as well we changed the naming of our product. So Bonita now is not 7.12 or 7.13 or I don't know what, it's 2021.x. So what? 1 and 2, because we want to have 2 releases per year. So this year, in order to have a second release, we are going to change the release dates that was before in June to September, and you will have a release on 2021.2 by the end of September. And next year, normally 2022.1 should be released in March. Now I am going to focus on the new Bonita users interface and what is going to change, because it's quite a smooth but big change. So just a bit of history now to talk about that. I said that it's goodbye JWT and welcome to new Bonita UIs, but this started a long time ago. So if you remember, in 7.x, you have Bonita Portal with profiles. So in community, you have user and admin profiles. And in Bonita Enterprise, you have user, process manager, admin, and all custom profiles you want to create. So this portal will be also available for the technical user, which has specific rights. And linked to this profile, we have living applications that are going to be mapped and imported in the portal using the application descriptor. Okay, so that's until 7.10. Because in 7.10, what we changed is that we added a new user application, Bonita. This user application is customizable. It's behaving like living applications, and it will be mapped to our portal, but you can still use Bonita Portal. In 7.11, Portal has been deprecated, and in 2021.1, we have added Bonita Administrator Application, which is behaving exactly the same way as user application, but for administrators. So we still have them like living application with a deprecated portal that can still be used if you need it. Now, today, we have a big change. The portal will be totally removed, we keep the user application and the administrator application, and we add 2 new applications. The first one, that was before related to the technical user, is called the super administrator application. So we talk about a super administrator now and not a technical user anymore. And moreover, a new application is added to do the link between all applications, that is called the application directory. This application is a kind of landing page, if you want, where depending on your profile, you are going to see the application you can access. But what about profiles? Yes, you're right, they have changed as well. That's the profile before 2021.2. So just to make it clear for everyone, when we talk about a profile, we talk about 3 axes. The first one is the organization. A profile is linked to a role, to groups, to users. So it's linked to the organization. It will be the link between the organization and its usage. That's why it's also linked to permissions, because we need to make sure that the profile is belonging to an organization and has specific permissions to access some applications, permissions to access API REST, and in Bonita Enterprise, the BDM access control as well. And before 2021.2, those profiles were linked to a navigation that were set in Bonita Portal. And for example, when you wanted to add a custom profile, you added your profile and then you were mapping it in Bonita Portal to the correct applications and the organization. Now we are going to change that. You won't have anymore the navigation into Bonita Portal because you don't have Bonita Portal anymore. But it will be accessible through applications. So your profile will remain linked and mapped to the organization, and it will be mapped to the application, the access of the applications. So for example, if we take the role of the process manager, the navigation of the process manager is removed. So you won't see it anymore as a profile navigation, because it was not that used. But the profile remains with the role and its permissions. So if you want to create a specific app, it's like all other living applications. You can create an application mapped to the process manager profile. Sorry. For your information, we are going to create blog posts and videos after Bonita Beta and after the release, talking about in details about specific characteristic. And for example, you will see a video presenting in details how profiles are going to change. And for example, we don't want you to be obliged to redo everything, so we are working on migrations of profiles that should be automated in order to convert everything simply. So I hope it's clear about profiles. So if we think about the applications now, the applications follow 2 kind of approaches, 2 kind of structures. Administrator application and user application are kind of Bonita application examples. They are behaving exactly like other living applications, and they can be customized as well as deleted if you want. You are going to see them automatically when you click on Run in the studio, but if you want to modify them and from UI Designer, you are going to download them in Bonita Studio as it's shown in the videos in What's New 2021.1 and in What's New Bonita 7.10. Then Super Administrator and App Directory. Those applications are different because they are core to the operations of Bonita platform. So they can be customized in a certain way, but you won't be able to delete it. And that's what I'm going to show you now with our demo. So here I installed a bundle. So it's like if you were in your development environment. I am going to show you first the role of super administrator, and then we are going to go through the different applications, okay? So the first one is to use install, so this won't change, in order to go to the super admin app page. Oops, what's wrong here? I have no access to this page. We are going to see that after. Oh, I'm coming back to what? To the application list. So that's the application directory. So you can see that as a super administrator, today I just have access to my Bonita Super Administrator application, which is made to configure and administer the platform. So I click on it. As you can see, I have an icon now, a logo for my application. Just for your information, each application can be customized like that with a logo now, which will make it easier to recognize and it's more fun. So the Super Administrator application has been enriched with the application menu in order to make sure that the Super Administrator can see everything. So here you just see my applications Bonita, but for example, if I had installed another application, I would see it as well. As you can see, 4 applications here: Bonita User Application, App Directory, Administrator Application, and Super Admin Application. But here, something is strange. We have here 2 Bonita logos, and here we have the ability to delete. Why? Because, as I told you, we have 2 core applications, Application Directory and Super Admin Application, that cannot be deleted. But otherwise, I can delete any other application as I want. In case you delete by mistake Bonita Admin Application, you have 2 possibilities. Or you import it from your Super Admin Application profile and then you configure it again. Or even as administrator, you can download it from Bonita Studio. Here, if I go in my welcome page, I can always import my Bonita admin application and customize it as I want, and then export it and install it on my runtime. Now, as I shown you, you have description for your applications. But if you want, for example, to edit an application, you can do it here. As a super admin, I can edit almost everything except the super admin app, which is not editable. Here I can see that I can upload a new picture if I want to change the logo, and I can change as well my Bonita layout. Look here, layout without menu. Okay. If I want to edit the description, I just click here on edit. You have the display name, the URL, the version, the profile, which is mapped to your application. And here, if I want, I can change my description. Look, I have noticed that there is a mistake. So I change it and I save. Okay, so now I'm going to log out and I'm going to log in as Walter Bates, who is administrator and user. So let me log out as super administrator. And now I am going to log in as Walter Bates. Oh, again, you see that my page is different from the previous pages. Look, it's nice. I have an image, I have text that is nicer than before, and something new. You can go back to your homepage directly, which will redirect you to the application directory. And as you can see this time, even if I had the same error, I have access to different applications. Why? Because as Walter Bates, I don't have the super admin role, but I have access to both administrator and user application. And if you want, here you can see the URL. If I come back to Bonita here, you will have an automatic redirect, which makes your app directory application as a landing page. It's really easy to manage. Okay, now in my administrator application, you can see my logo as well. It's the same application as before. But for example, if I want to see my other applications, I can go here and you can see that it has been updated, and now you can see the logos and the application descriptions. Okay, I come back to my applications. I can still see all the applications, and I have exactly the same rights as the super admin, which means that I can't delete the app directory and the super admin app. If we go to the app directory quickly, you can see that for the app directory, you can change the logo, the look and feel as well, but you won't be able to delete any of the Bonita e-role. By the way, you can customize them. So I go to resources, I search for my, oh, it's here. So I have my Bonita Error 403. If I want to search for the other pages, they are here, 500, 504, okay? So I will export my page. I go to my UI designer, I import it because I want to customize it. I guess it's this one. Import. It's been imported successfully, and you can see that it's correct. It's error 403 Bonita v1. So here you have the assets where you can see, sorry, a background, access denied is VG that we have seen in our page before. The localization, in order to make sure that if you change your language, it will change the language of your page. And if you want to change it, for example, I want to change the style of the button. Oh, now it's green. I save it, I do a preview. Okay, I have the same page and go to home page. I have prepared a page in order to show you how it looks like when you import it in your runtime. So now I come back to my resources and an administrator. I have exported my page from UI designer. You remember, you can export from here, okay? So I exported my page. I will click on the pencil. I click here. I will go to Delphine Bonita, workspace. I have my page v2. I open it. I update it. So now it's successfully updated. You can see that it's been updated at 6 p.m. And if I go to my page, ooh, I like this emoji, that's why I added it. So you see that you can really customize lots of things in the administrator applications. So now if I come back to the presentation, so if we summarize a bit what we have just seen in the demo, we have two types of interfaces, so admin and user app. They are available by default in Bonita Runtime, which means that if you run in Bonita Studio, they will open. So those applications will automatically open, like before you open Bonita Portal, in order to make sure that you can test your processes. If you want to customize them, they are downloadable as Bonita Studio applications, as examples, as I've shown you before. If you want to customize resources from those applications directly from runtime, you have seen that it's possible as well. They can be removed from Bonita Runtime just be careful. For example, if you are in Bonita Runtime admin app, let me come back here, and you go to applications and you remove here the application, be careful that it will only remove the application descriptor. The resources will remain here in this part as pages, because then you can reuse them later if you need. So if you really don't want them to be kept in your runtime, you have to remove them here from the resources. And as you have seen, some of them are editable in UI Designer. If we talk about Bonita Super Administrator and the App Directory, as they are core applications, they are of course by default in your runtime as well, but they won't be downloadable as studio application examples. The App Directory can be considered as a central URL, and that at login you will see, depending on your role, you will see the different applications. And as you have just seen now, we have new customizable hero pages. So what's new for you developers? If you are developers, all the applications are embedded in your bundle. You don't have anymore a portal to deal with, so it's easier for you to develop and to test. You have seen that all the hero pages are customizable, which is also easier because then you can add more information if you want. You can customize the layout and add images as I did. Then you will be able to manage the custom profile differently. So you won't be able to create a navigation in a portal because it doesn't exist anymore in a custom profile, but you will manage the profiles as we did with applications. So one profile can be mapped to different applications. One application will be mapped to a profile. Okay, so you are going to create the application and map the profile. And normally, but for the time being, it's not finished. The migration should be done for the profile. You can create application logos and use them, of course. If you are a user, what's new? We are going to include consistency. You just have applications. It's easier. You just have the same layout, the same theme. You have your application directory where you can go everywhere you want, and you are not searching for apps and links and so on. Each app is identified with its logo and its description as well. Look, for example, the Super Administrator application logo. It's nice, I like it. And if you are an administrator, you have a richer Super Administrator application, including the application management. All the URL of the portal are redistributed and they change, so you will have only one URL, so it's easier to manage as an administrator, especially if you have updates. And the profiles are removed from the organization menu. What's next? As I told you, normally, but as we are still waiting for Bonita Beta, the automatic migration of custom profiles should be integrated in 2021.2. In the next releases, what are we working on? We are working on a new application called Platform Management. This application will help you monitor the platform. It will be a dedicated monitoring application. And then about the analytics page, you have noticed that it is not anymore available in 2021.2. That's because we removed it, and we want to replace the former Jasper reports by an application to perform analytics, and at least as soon as possible with the first report available. And then we are going to enrich it with other native reports. So that's all for today. Thank you very much for your attention. And now we are going to see who has questions. When will AngularJS be replaced by web components? So it's progressive. Those last months we have been working on POC in order to see the best solution to progressively remove AngularJS by web components. The fact is that we do not want to experience exactly the same thing as when we change the GWT v6 forms for AngularJS forms and UI designer forms. We don't want people to redo. So we are working on a way to smoothly migrate and replace AngularJS forms by web components. And of course, everything will be adapted, the application, the Bonita applications as well. As I understand, there will be no profile and access to specified processes. Specified processes will be set by roles and groups. To specify processes, we already use roles and groups. We map actors in Bonita Studio to roles and group and to organization. And then your profile is the front-end part. Your profile is going to set the permissions and will be mapped to this organization. So you will have the application part with the profiles with permissions to those applications. They are mapped to the organization with the groups and roles, and those groups and roles are mapped to the actors linked to the process. That's how it works in order to decorrelate the process logic and the application logic, and in order to avoid being obliged to redo everything when you change something in the organization or the actors. In this version, Portal is split to 4 apps: user admin, super admin, app directory, right? Then now there will be 4 links to open each of them from Studio instead of only one. No, let me show you. Let me go to Bonita Studio. If you click here on the, so let me put it a bit, oh, sorry, it's in French. I hope you don't mind. If I click on this button, you remember this button, it's the Portal button. Here, I click. You will see that when I run it, it will automatically redirect me to the Bonita App Directory. So you have a unique URL, and then your URL will be linked to the different applications, and you can access all applications from here directly. Well, task list page will be editable in UI Designer. Here, the task list is not part of the pages that can be customized. Let me show you now. Some of them are still in React. Let me import it quickly. And while it's importing, I will take the next question. Okay, I import. Next question, while it's important. Would we have to rework any existing work other than the profiles, like the UI custom widgets and stuff? No, they will be migrated. I think you have seen my page when I was in UI Designer. This page was done with Bonita 2021.1, and it's been automatically migrated, so you won't have to rework everything. We have a retro compatibility. So for the user app, as I told you, so if you have a look at it, the user app, you can see that the user case list is here. So you can update it in Bonita User UI Designer. But if you go here, you won't see the Bonita user task list. So it is not it's not possible to customize it because it's based on wrapped and not on the UI Designer technology. You mentioned that when upgrading, we will not need to redo everything. Can you please highlight what parts might need to be redone? Well, actually, as I told you, for the profiles, for example, if you use Bonita Enterprise, we are currently working on the migration, but until it's not finished, totally finished, you might have to migrate those profiles. But today I cannot tell you, we are still in beta version, okay? Otherwise, normally I think everything should be migrated. And if you have already custom application, living applications, they are going to be migrated. Of course, well, when you migrate to your studio, automatically they are going to be integrated. And when you are going to upload everything on your runtime, you will see them in the app directory. And if you want, you can add a nice logo. It's cool. If you want me to, if you have other questions, feel free to ask them to community@bonitasoft.com. And thank you very much for your attention. I hope you liked this webinar. See you soon. Bye-bye.